attach a lot of significance to the new members coming into APC. And we are going into APC to help strengthen the party, to give the good people of Cross River State a choice, because democracy is all about choices. They must have alternatives. I was completely shut out of the PDP for almost 3 years. So it is not correct that I'm moving into the APC from the PDP. The PDP had already shut me out for years. So I'm moving to the APC from my house. So I'm not a decampee. So it's not correct to say I decamped, because the PDP had already closed its doors against me.
Receiving the former Senate leader and over 1,000 newly registered members into the All Progressives Congress, the national chairman, Chief John Odige Oyegun, said it was a positive sign for the President Buhari-led administration. Chief Odige Oyegun said the APC is better positioned to take over the mantle of leadership in the state.
People of caliber, people of status, people with recognition nationwide joining us today, and that speaks volumes. And when you stretch it a little bit further, these are people who know that the APC is not a Ghana must go party, either in dollars or in naira.
The event featured the symbolic handing over of the broom to the new entrant. In Calabar, Umar Basidate, NTA News.
And on the Kogi Assembly saga, the crisis rocking the Kogi State House of Assembly has further been deepened when some members, after a closed-door session, announced the removal of Speaker Momo Jimoh Lawal. Solomon Aiden reports that Momo Jimoh Lawal says he remains the Speaker.
The present crisis rocking the Kogi State House of Assembly started in December last year, when 17 out of 25 members of the Assembly impeached the Speaker, Momo Jimoh Lawal, and named the member representing the Ogorimagongo constituency, Godwin Osui Ojo, as the new Speaker. That crisis was later resolved, and the House reverted to status quo with Momo Jimoh Lawal as Speaker. Another controversy set in when some members, after a closed-door session in the Assembly chamber, announced the removal of the Speaker, Momo Jimoh Lawal, and named Alpha Imam Ahmed of Lokoja 1 constituency as the new Speaker.
The quorum of 20 of an assembly like ours, Kogi State, is 7. We had the quorum to sit, and we have been able to sit, and we have taken relevant resolution that will move Kogi State forward. The resolution includes the removal of the Speaker of Kogi State House of Assembly.
The embattled Momo Jimoh Lawal says he remains the Speaker and declared the pronouncement by the other faction null and void.
We are 20 in Assembly. How can 15 members again sign the purported impeachment? That was illegal. It was fake.
With the new development, the last is yet to be heard about the Kogi State House of Assembly crisis. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a former governor of Borno State, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, has emerged the new national chairman of the People's Democratic Party at its 68th National Executive Committee NEC meeting in Abuja. Edino Justice has the details.
Ali Modu Sheriff, as the PDP national chairman, was after a keen contest, first from 29 candidates and finally to 2 candidates. Journalists had to wait for over 6 hours before the PDP spokesperson, Olisa Metu, finally announced the position of the NEC meeting. There, Ali Modu Sheriff was administered the oath of office.
I, Senator Dr. Ali Modu Sheriff, I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the People's Democratic Party and the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In his acceptance address, the new PDP national chairman appealed to members to join hands with him to build and lead the party to victory.
I want to assure everybody that the choice you make today, nobody in this home will regret, inshallah. We will win, inshallah, come 2019. All we needed to do is to put our head together and build this party to a success. And we shall do it.
The new national chairman is expected to formally take over from Uche Secondus on Wednesday. Edina Justice, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. We now pause to take some messages. The news continues in a moment.
Or gunshots of an active shooter. That might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We must kill corruption before corruption will kill us.
If your leader is a kind of person that you look at him and say, if it is so and so, I'm okay. You can go to sleep and close your 2 eyes and sleep. Then you know you are making progress.
Now you have a leader who will not condone corruption at all. He has 0 tolerance of corruption. That alone makes some kind of fear for every Nigerian now.
The most critical index that we should look at is attitudinal change, moral education, respect for law and order. These 2 have disappeared from Nigeria. Now, this is what we must emphasize in the new Nigeria that we must leave behind.
Yes, this is the clarion call in the vanguard for a new Nigeria.
Nigeria will yellow. For 2017, Nigeria will join body with every other country for this world to enter that battle what they call digital broadcasting. This digital broadcasting is better past those time when we say we will go outside, go to Tonton TV. And not be that one, you go sit down for your comfort now. You go watch better. The TV go clear way. The people with inside go clear way. The sound man go come out well. If channel say go increase the local TV waiting for the Obodo Nigeria say go come out face where come clear well. My people. Nigeria, they enter digital.
Nigeria going digital. Nigeria's going digital.
Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
I wanna touch your life. I wanna be the change.
Airtel Touching Lives is all about making a difference in our communities. It's about making people happier, making Nigeria a better place. We have done it before. Join us as we do it again. This is Airtel Touching Lives, Season 2.
Touching lives.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Brothers and sisters. Though we speak different languages and celebrate different cultures, we were still one Nigeria. There was no bombing, there was no kidnapping, and our children were not cultists. Now, we suspect one another as there are spreads of cultism, bombing, and kidnapping. How long shall this go on? Terrorism is alien, kidnapping is criminal, cultism is barbaric. Nigeria is a blessed country. supports the Nigeria police and the fight against terrorism, kidnapping and cultism. Always inform the police of any incident around you. Say something when you suspect something.
Remember, we all have a stake in building a crime-free Nigeria of our dream.
This message is from the Nigeria Police Force.
Nigeria we hello. For 2017, Nigeria go join body with every other country for this world to enter that battle what they call digital broadcasting. This digital broadcasting is better pass those time when we say we dey go outside go the Tonton TV. And not be that one, you go sit down for your comfort now. You go watch better. The TV go clear way. The people with inside go clear way. The sound man go come out well. If channel say go increase the local TV waiting for the Obodo Nigeria side go come out face where come clear well. My people. Nigeria, they enter digital.
Nigeria going digital. Nigeria's going digital.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is NTA Nationwide. Launching of the World Bank's Nigeria Partnership for Education project in Sokoto State. This and more from our Sokoto Network Center as Fatih gives us detail. Fatih, take it up from here.
Thanks, Olajide. You're welcome to Sokoto. The Nigeria Partnership for Education project of the World Bank has been launched in Sokoto. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that also launched was the Northern Education Initiative plans of the United States Agency for International Development.
The two projects launched in the state are geared towards same direction of supporting access and enrollment drive, especially of the girl-child education. The Nigerian Partnership for Education project is a federal government project with the World Bank, which earmarks $100 million to 5 northwestern states designed to support the education of the child, while the Northern Education Initiative Plus of the United States Agency for International Development targets 2 states of Sokoto and Bauchi to provide access to quality education with emphasis on girls, orphans, and those enrolled into non-conventional schools for the period of 5 years.
This administration will continue with this strategy so as to ensure that every child in the state receives the desired education.
Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, called on parents, especially mothers, to support the crusade on enrollment and retention of pupils in schools. Representatives of the World Bank, Mr. Adekola, and that of United States Agency for International Development, Mr. Mark Harvey, assures of supporting teacher training that will have a direct and positive impact on their students. In Sokoto, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Sokoto State Command of Nigeria Immigration Service has apprehended some girls suspected to be victims of human trafficking. The affected girls were paraded before newsmen by the controller of the command, Abubakar Muhammad Ahmad. Mohamed Nasir has the details.
Human trafficking remains a global phenomenon which often manifests negative implications on the society, such as prostitution, child labor, and child abuse, among others. In Nigeria, government has been intensifying efforts to check the menace through effective surveillance of the nation's borders. Part of the effort to check the ugly trend, the Sokoto State Command of the Nigerian Immigration Services has apprehended a group of girls who were allegedly trafficked from neighboring countries. Comptroller of the command, Abubakar Muhammad Ahmad, said 7 of the girls were arrested at a popular bench market in Tambol local government, while 3 were arrested in custody of an effeminate popularly known as Dandodu in Shagari local government, while another 4 were arrested on the outskirts of Sokoto metropolis.
All suspects, however, are going to be handed over to the NAPTIP, of which we usually do the appropriate authority to prosecute them.
He said another group of 7 girls were arrested last 2 weeks and handed over to the NAPTIP. 2 out of the 14 apprehended girls, Jamila Abdullahi and Aisha from Benin Republic, said they were in Sokoto working as a domestic maid. The comptroller said the command will continue to enlighten people on the negative implication of human trafficking. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
Rejection tussle in Hergitser Dutse of Gidembubu district of Wamako local government of Sokoto state has been resolved amicably. JB Ibrahim Ilela Dabori, who visited the village, has a report.
Significant percentage of households of Hergeza Dutse have been repeatedly rejecting the administration of polio vaccines to their children since the introduction of polio vaccines in the state for religious grounds. Several efforts were made by various stakeholders through dialogue and enlightenment campaigns with the community. Religious and opinion leaders have currently paved way to total compliance, as the entire community have agreed to present their children for vaccination against poliomyelitis. Chief Imam of the village, Liman Usman Hergeza, along with the Dukkan Hergeza, took lead to present their children to the team of vaccinators to be administered with polio vaccines. Spiritual leader of the community and chairman Sokoto State Chapter of National Islahuddin Association, Umar Liman Shagari, dispel rumors that people of Hergeza Dutse are not supporting government policies and objectives on health and other related issues. In Sokoto, Jabil Lela Dabure, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Sokoto. It's back to you.
Thank you very much, Fatih. And on health matters now, getting healthcare workers with the appropriate skills and doing the right thing at the right place are key in reducing the maternal and child mortality due to preventable diseases. These were the focus of presentations at the inaugural Summit on Accountability for Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health. Murjana to Adam Said reports.
Every single day, Nigeria loses about 2,300 under 5-year-old and about 145 women of childbearing age. This has made Nigeria the second largest contributor to the under 5 and maternal mortality rate in the world.
The Global Partnership for Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Strategy for Women, Children Health foresees a world in which every person in every setting counts and can realize their human rights to health and is able to hold governments and other duty barriers or duty providers accountable.
Till date, the indices as it relates to reproductive health, maternal mortality, child and infant mortality, they are still bad.
Analysis of recent trends shows that the country is making progress in reducing infant death and under 5 mortality rates.
We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a better day, so let's start giving.
These midwives believes that less than 20% of health facilities offers emergency obstetric care and only 35% of deliveries are handled by skilled birth attendants due to poverty and ignorance. In Abuja, Mirjana to Adam Said, NTA News.
And still talking health, stakeholders in health sector solicit for National Malaria Program. Let's join Chinere in our Enugu Network Center for more details. Hello Chinere, it's over to you.
Thank you, Olajide, and welcome to Enugu. Key stakeholders in the health sector in Enugu State have solicited the sustainability of the support to National Malaria Program project in the state to consolidate on efforts in the prevention and treatment of malaria. They made the plea at the presentation of the end of program achievements and challenges of SUNMAP in the state from 2012 to 2016. Chinenye now reports.
The support for National Malaria Program project, SUNMAP, began in Nigeria in 2008 to reduce the high incidence of malaria, while Enugu State keyed into the project in June 2012. In a presentation, the State Technical Malaria Manager, SUNMAP, said SUNMAP identified that many people in the state do not protect themselves with effective malaria protective measures, the reason for the high number of deaths due to malaria. He named some achievements of SUNMAP in the state.
SUNMAP has, over time, helped the state health system to strengthen how malaria program is done in the state and also to build capacity of the health workers.
While clamoring for SUNMAP 2, Commissioner for Health Enugu State, as well as the Director of Public Health of the Ministry, noted that SunMap has enhanced the healthcare delivery in the state in several ways. Other stakeholders in the health sector identified frequent redeployments of staff and unavailability of funds from government for the procurement and distribution of anti-malaria commodities as some challenges faced in implementing SunMap project. 24 high-powered microscopes donated by SunMap were presented to the State Ministry of Health. In Enugu, Chinenwoye, NTA News.
Employment of unqualified teachers, quota system, and exam malpractices have been identified as key elements that breed corruption in the education system. This came to the fore at the Stakeholders Conference on Education held in Enugu. Ijoma Ugweke has details.
The third annual conference, which has as its theme corruption and challenges of educational delivery in Nigeria, created a platform for stakeholders in the education sector to brainstorm on problems faced by the sector and ways to eliminate them. The Provost, Enugu State College of Education Technical, Enugu, noted that the theme of the conference is apt, particularly at this time when efforts are made to eradicate corrupt practices. She emphasized the need to sanitize the education sector to ensure higher institutions of learning graduate students that are employable.
People that cannot defend certificates there are rich because the course content, the evaluation, all things are watered down.
Professor Mark Anipo highlighted some aspects of corruption that affects the education sector, to include handout syndrome, alteration of grades, extortion, and hiking of fees.
The corruption has been so pervasive that every institution has been corroded by this very phenomenon.
Other speakers advocated review in education sector to upgrade the standard of education devoid of corrupt practices. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
The development of tertiary institutions, especially private universities, is a collective responsibility of all governments, both at the federal and state levels. The governor of Abia State, Dr. Okeze Ikpeazu, made the observation during the fourth matriculation of Gregory University, Uturu, held at the University Auditorium. Chinenwoye reports.
Who was represented by the state chairman of PDP, Senator Emanwaka, said the state government is in full support of education and will give support to Gregory University, Uturu, for her outstanding quality in education. The Vice Chancellor, Mrs. Juliet Elu, reminded the students that for them to fully actualize their objective in school, commitment and hard work should be their watchword. She urged them to avoid groups that canvass or promote violence or engage in cultism, extortion, and indecent dressing. Also speaking, a member of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Samson Uche, advised the students to be of good behavior and avoid any act capable of portraying the school in bad light. He awarded scholarship to 2 students for scoring 4 and above in cumulative grade point average.
Most schools should be offering entrepreneurship so that our youth from the university can crave for development.
The Chancellor and proprietor of Gregory University, Uturu, Dr. Gregory Ike Ibe, said the university has an entrepreneurial education center with courses in entrepreneurship towards helping students think and act as entrepreneurs and wealth creators instead of job seekers. He extolled the efforts of the federal government in her continuous effort to promote entrepreneurial education as a mechanism to address the massive graduate unemployment and social problems which is endemic in the system.
But we are laying the foundation for all other universities in the country to join.
136 students were admitted in 18 colleges. Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
And that's the much we have for you from here. It's back to you, Olajide. Thanks for watching us.
Thank you very much, Chinyere. And moving on, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says for the United Nations vision of achieving zero hunger, good health, sanitation, affordable and clean energy, as well as infrastructural development by 2030, there must be accessible healthcare services to all members of the society. Professor Adewale made the assertion while defending the 2016 budget proposal before the House Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunle reports.
On the 2015 budget performance on Millennium Development Goals, the minister said about 3.2 billion naira was appropriated, of which 50% was released. These funds were expended on programs for the National Primary Healthcare Development and Main Ministry. On the 2016 Sustainable Development Goals projects, Professor Adewale defended a 4.8 billion naira proposal.
With respect to the SDG, we're still focusing on the National Health Insurance Scheme, we're focusing on National Primary Care Development, we're focusing on the totality of the SDG 3, which has to do with universal coverage.
Budgetary allocation of the Ministry of Health should always be that big to help the teeming population.
17 goals, and we have 169 targets, which is stipulated to span through 2030.
The committee chairman was particularly impressed with the presentation of the Minister of Health and said that if passed, the budget will go some way to successfully implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. The 17 SDGs include no poverty, quality education, gender equality, climate action, equity and justice. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunle, NTA News.
Thank you, Dennis. The anti-corruption crusade of President Muhammadu Buhari has received another boost, with some youth from all the states of the Federation joining the support for the crusade. Correspondent Rhoda Obo reports that the group marched to the office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to show support.
President Muhammadu Buhari set the ball rolling on May 29, saying no more corruption in Nigeria. And thousands of youths from across the country in the nation's capital have also come to stand with the president to say no more corruption in Nigeria.
The group, known as Enough is Enough, says they are worried over the effect of corruption in the country. They say the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari is therefore a welcome development. They marched from Wuse to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Ministry of Justice. Comrade Ige Ayani, coordinator Enough is Enough group, says EFCC must not relent.
Society of 190 million people and only less than 1,000 people want to run down the nation. No. So it's time for all Nigerians to arise.
We are going to EFCC because they have so many cases. What of the money that has been looted?
We want to kill corruption before corruption killed Nigeria. Yeah. 2015, we had over 134 convictions.
The group encouraged President Buhari to expose those who are perpetrating the acts, as Nigerians need to know where the funds are. In Abuja, Rhoda Obo, NTA News.
And to internally displaced persons matters, the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association NAWA has built a health facility and a block of classrooms for the internally displaced persons living at the Durumi camp, Abuja. National President of the association, Mrs. Uma Kulsum Tuku Buratai, formally presented the facilities to the IDPs at a ceremony in Abuja. Stephanie Uja Banife covered the event.
The Army Officers' Wives, whose spouses are fighting hard to end insurgency in the northern part of the country, embarked on the project to cushion the effects of the hardship they are going through as a result of their displacement, knowing fully well that women and children are usually at the receiving end whenever any crisis occurs, made the Nigerian Army Officers' Wife Association NAWA to build the medical post and a block of classrooms for the internally displaced persons living in Durumi. While presenting the facilities to the displaced persons, the national president of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, NAWA, Mrs. Uma Kulsum Tukur Buratai, said the gesture is to put smiles on the faces of the displaced persons as well as restore hope and confidence in their lives.
Most people, when we talk about IDPs, the first thing that will come to their minds is always food items. This is not enough. How about the health sector?
From there, the NAWA members proceeded to the Karu Children's Home, where they donated relief materials including food items, toiletries and clothing. Beneficiaries of the Naowa benevolence said the action has demonstrated the love of motherhood.
At any hour of the day or night, one can be sure of getting medication.
The dispensary that she opened for us, it will be helpful for us.
The Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association is a non-profit, non-governmental organization made up of 7 officers' wives of the Nigerian Army who have over the years impacted positively on the lives of the barracks communities and its environs through provision of educational, healthcare and skill acquisition programs. In Abuja, Stephanie Oja Nebifi, NTA News.
And on global tidbits, World Health Organization support trials of genetically modified mosquitoes that could be used to fight Zika virus. And first convoy of 35 trucks arrived besieged Syrian town. Let's join Ronke Kolaole for more reports on global tidbits.
Ahead of Thursday's election in Uganda, an extra 5,500 police officers have been deployed by the police chief to protect voters from intimidation in the tightly contested election. In Senegal, President Macky Sall says he will remain in office till the end of 2019 after the court refused his request to reduce his term by 2 years to 5. Mr. Sall had promised during the last election campaign to reduce the president's term in office. And still on Africa, UNICEF says the devastating drought has caused severe hunger to nearly 1 million people in East and Southern Africa. And away from the continent now, Taiwan says satellite images have shown that China has deployed surface-to-air missiles on the disputed island in South China Sea, a situation which the country believes can worsen tension between rival countries. Meanwhile, ahead of high-level talks, China has warned Australia to be fair in judging its activities in the disputed sea. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And in the world of sport, NFF Match Commissioners Seminar opens in Abuja as Renard replaces Badam Zaki in Morocco as coach. Amanzi Marcos reports.
About 1,000 match commissioners are attending a 3-day seminar in Abuja aimed at a better 2015-2016 football season. Chairman of the Match Commissioners Appointments Committee, Baba Gana Kali, said since the Nigeria Professional Football League kicks off this weekend, participants must take advantage of the seminar to improve on their duties as general overseers in every game.
The match commissioner, therefore, must be a man of integrity and great honor.
Match commissioners of the Nigeria Professional Football League are attending on Wednesday, to be followed on Thursday by match commissioners for the National League. Those who officiate in the Women's League will attend the seminar on Friday. There are indications that the number of match commissioners for the season will be reduced in all the 4 tiers of Nigeria's domestic football league to ensure only the good ones are retained. The coach that took the Chipolopolo of Zambia to win the AFCON title in 2012 and repeat same feat with the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire in 2015 has been appointed coach of the Atlas Lions of Morocco. The Moroccan FA said Hervé Renard, who was sacked as Lille FC of France coach in November 2015 after being in charge for about 7 months, has signed a 3-year contract. He is to coach the home-based Atlas Lions and the under-23 side with a target to reach the semi-finals of AFCON 2017 in Gabon and also qualify Morocco to the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. The wildfire of doping sweeping across several sports is claiming more victims as Kenya's athletics chief Isaac Mwangi has offered to step down for 21 days to allow for investigations into allegations that he collected bribes from athletes to reduce their doping bans. The East African country dominates in long-distance running, but since 2011, 40 of Kenya's athletes have failed drug tests. 3 senior officials of Athletics Kenya were suspended by the IAAF in 2015, but all have denied any wrongdoing. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And that's it on NTA Nationwide. Many thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello. Good evening.
breaking the news. We are Africa's largest network. Africa's largest network. Second to none. The first, the biggest, the best. Education, sports, authentic news, views. NTA. You can't beat the rich.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Sneakers is a synonym for athletic shoes, the generic name for footwear primarily designed for physical exercise. It is usually designed with flexible sole made of rubber and an upper part of leather or canvas. Sneakers go back a long way. In the late 18th century, people wore rubber-soled shoes called plimsolls, but they were pretty crude. For one thing, there was no right foot or left foot. Around 1892, the US Rubber Company came up with more comfortable rubber sneakers with canvas tops called Keds. By 1917, the sneakers began to be mass-produced. They got the nickname sneakers because they were so quiet. A person wearing them could sneak up on someone without being noticed. Sneakers, though designed for sports, have gradually crept into everyday fashion due to its easy fit and comfort. It comes in diverse colors, designs, and models. The high tops, covering the ankle only. The low tops, or Oxford, stay just below the ankle. The mid-cut sneakers are in between the high and the low tops. The sneaker boots extend to the calf. The slip-ons, much like the low tops, do not cover the ankle and do not have laces. The low top CVO, that is circular vamp Oxford, do not cover the ankle, but have a vamp in a circular form with about 4 to 5 eyelets. Finally, the high top CVO covers the ankle with a circular vamp. Sneakers can be worn with a good pair of jeans, a skirt, a suit, and sometimes to give a good kick to a simple gown. It can be worn to the office, casually, or even to a serious occasion. The last Mama Award in South Africa, some stars, including Lynx, were spotted in lovely, classy sneakers.
I'm wearing a black suit and chucks. No designer.
Besides the fashion statement, sneakers are well recommended for their orthopedic benefit to the knees and ankle. Go ahead, fit the feet in style with just the matching sneakers.
This is the network service of the NTA.
This is The Street. Old Kent
measures or whatever. Today I'm here to support the people. This is the state and I'm looking
Here in Abuja, it's about Nigerians trying to make ends meet all of us.
It's a bright day today and the air is filled with joy.